Welcome and great to have you watching or listening to this special episode, The Future of Credit Scoring. And in this episode, we dive into an important innovation in credit risk assessment, especially in Belgium. The launch of a completely renewed bankruptcy score or failure score, powered by AI. We will discuss how this new score came to life, why it's such a significant leap forward in credit management. And we talk a lot about AI nowadays, right? So generative AI, but terms that are often mixed up as well. And in today's context, we are going to talk about predictive AI. AI which uses large volumes of business data to assess which companies are financially sound and which aren't. We will also cover the explainability framework developed specifically for this score. So no black box, but real transparency. Does that align with GDPR or the upcoming AI regulations in Europe? We will get into that shortly with my colleagues Barry de Goey and Harita Raman, sorry. Thank you. Nice to have you. And in short, in just under 45 minutes, you will be fully up to speed from the technology behind the score to its practical impact on your day-to-day work. So on the right side of your screen, you will see the chat. The chat is primarily here for you to ask questions about what we will be discussing today. And one of our colleagues is standing by to answer your questions live. And if they can't get to it, we will follow up with you later. This session is also being recorded. So if you need to step away a little bit early, no worries. After the session, you will receive a link so you can rewatch the entire episode at your own convenience. And this webinar will also be available as a podcast on Spotify. That's it for now. Let's get started. Barry, or Barry in Dutch, a warm welcome. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you for having us. My name is Barry. I've been a data scientist for a little over a decade now in the field. In the past 6 years for Altares, mainly focusing on credit scores and building our newest models and trying to innovate as much as we can. So I'm happy to talk about what we are aiming to deliver to the customers this year.
Thank you. And also a warm welcome to Harita.
Yeah,
thank you, Michiel. Can you tell us something about yourself as well?
Yeah, thank you, Michiel. Thank you for having us. I'm Harita. I'm a data scientist at Altares. I have graduated from Vrije University and University of Amsterdam with a master's degree in computer science with big data specialization. We have all known that DNB has been having one of the biggest databases in the world with data spanning over multiple decades and being one of the pioneers in credit risk scoring. So I am passionate in applying cutting-edge techniques and helping and enhancing the classical credit risk scoring we have. So I'm excited to share more about our scorecard, how you can benefit from it all in the next 45 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Barry, why was it time for a new scorecard?
Yeah, so was it time? we have to set it apart, right? So at first we need to check, okay, how is the old scorecard doing? Mm-hmm. And when we see it over time, over a period of time, over the last 23 years, our aim is always to deliver the best quality that we can deliver. And when we look at that time period, what we see is that between 70 and 80% of the failures fall into our lower ratings. That is our aim objective. So why was it time for a new scorecard? Not necessarily because the old scorecard didn't perform suddenly or something happened, but what we saw is that in the previous years, we continued developing on how we do scoring. And at this point in time, we saw, okay, the benefit of what we can achieve with our new innovations is so much that we can help, especially in the Belgian market, we can increase the performance by so much. It is probably time to make a new one, to let our customers benefit from that potential.
Yeah. So, and why is it better than the old scoring method?
So, a couple of things. The performance is a lot better than what we saw, but also you talked about it in your introduction for AI. With AI, we make giant leaps in what we're able to do, even beyond what we thought we could do.
Yeah.
So it's better in terms of performance and also how it treats variables. We can dive a little bit more into the detail that we have in our database.
Yeah. So, Harita, what is fundamentally different now that we are using AI in this new scorecard?
Of course. Two things in particular come to my mind, which I would like to share with you. The first one is segmentation. Segmentation as a concept itself is not new to us. We've known what segmentation is and we've been doing segmentation for many, many years now. But how we approach segmentation in our new scorecard is what is different. And the second thing is we have, as you mentioned, we've incorporated AI in it. We've all been hearing about artificial intelligence, neural networks so many times in the past few years. We have all been using ChatGPT, Perplexity AI. There are many, many use cases of how we can use AI in different domains, which led us to think, how can we leverage AI in helping us with better scoring? So, which is what we have done. And we can see an immense boost in performance and the predictive accuracy that we see now that we have used AI. So these are the two things that are fundamentally different. However, the interpretation of the DNB 1 to 100 score and the DNB 1 to 4 rating still remains the same. So how our customers see it and how they interpret it is all the same. But how we have predicted the score is what is different.
It's still the same score people are familiar with in DB Finance Analytics, right? It's the 0 to 100
Yes.
score. Okay. So it's about better performance, about more or about reliability as well, thanks to AI?
Definitely. So when we work with an AI model, we just not focus on the increase in performance, but we also make sure that the performance remains constant over time so that our customers who use the score can rely and make their decision-making process more stable and efficient. So we definitely focus on the power, but also how reliable our score is.
Okay. So now I'm interested because I use AI a lot, but that's the generative AI, the ChatGPT. We all know it. I think the people at home as well. So I'm a bit curious about how the new scorecard works. So what are the biggest technological innovations you see here?
Yeah. So one of the biggest technological innovations that we have in our new scorecard is segmentation, which I just spoke about a few seconds earlier. So how we approach segmentation is what the innovation that we have here. So we have segments based on the financials, legal form, and the age of the company. For example, one of our segments is for larger corporation because usually we see that they have more financial data available compared to sole proprietorships, for example, where less financial data is available on them. So we also further segment them based on how old a company is. So how young and how old they are. So we do that for sole proprietorships as well as for other legal forms. We now have 7 segments in our new scorecard. This richer segmentation helps us in delivering far more tailored decision with greater accuracy and helping us understand the behavior of companies that fall in each of these segments. And the next one is we move to the AI layered scoring. So what we have done is on top of these segments, we have added AI on top of it based on the risk category. So we have 3 categories varying from low to high risk. Because we have introduced the concept of risk in it, our AI now remains stable and consistent even when the macroeconomic conditions shifts around us. COVID, for example, if there's an economic shift, anything, our model remains stable and predictive over time. We all know that when you develop an AI model, you can just put in data, it will definitely give something out. But how well you understand what the model gives you is definitely a key factor when you develop an AI model. So we have focused on how transparent, how explainable our model is. Why? Because then our users can understand what and why a score was given. So this is not just for internal risk team, but also for regulators, clients, and anybody who uses our system to make decisions based on that. We did not stop there. We took it even one step further, where we just didn't build an AI model that is predictive and explainable, but we have built one that we can control by design. So that is where the real confidence lies, because you're not just predicting well and being transparent, but we can steer and manage the AI. So we can make it behave the way that we want it to. So maybe segmentation and AI layered is our visible innovation, but our real innovation lies beneath the surface, where we have built an intelligent, transparent, and ultimately controllable AI model. So these are our biggest innovations in our new scorecard.
So, thank you. Clear. Is it true that is the AI smart? Does it learn over time?
Oh,
how does that work?
Yeah, that's a good question. But the short answer is no. We have made a conscious choice not to build a self-learning model at this point in time, even though we have the building blocks to build one. Why? Self-learning models can rapidly change very frequently. So we prefer stability when we are scoring for our customers, because they make decisions based on a score. So if our scoring keeps changing, then the profile, the way that they make decisions cannot keep changing. So which is why we have made the conscious choice at this point in time not to develop one, but maybe we will think about it in the future. But for the time being, yes, we have not made the choice.
Otherwise, on Monday, you have a score of 40 and...
Exactly.
Over the weekend, it can be 60 or 70.
Exactly. Then you need to change how you make decisions based on a score. So that is not efficient for our customers. So which is why we are focused not to do that.
Yeah. So and how does this system help customers make better decisions?
Yes. So this new scorecard gives our customers a more clearer, more accurate view of risk. And we have now a much wide and increase in performance, and this can open door to more businesses. So one of the biggest advantage we see is that our new scorecard is more accurate in classifying companies across different risk profiles. And we see an increase in companies that fall in rating 1 and 2. These are our lower risk bracket, meaning the appetite to do business is much higher here. So our customers can now engage with more businesses with more confidence, because now we have more accurately assessed these companies to fall under the low risk bracket. So, as I said, this is not a black box. This is still interpretable. Everything is explainable. So our customers can now make smarter and better decisions while also having the confidence to act on them.
So we've just heard about or learned about the new impressive advantages of the new scoring system. Improved performance, you mentioned. Smarter segmentation. Enhanced explainability. So, but with powerful AI also comes difficult questions, maybe, or regulatory considerations, maybe. So, with GDPR, I think I'm going to ask it to you, Barry. With GDPR already in place, and we know about the AI Act that is coming up on the horizon. How do we ensure that innovation stays compliant? And to what extent does the new scorecard follow those laws or rules?
Yeah, so two things. First, let's go first a little bit deeper into the GDPR, which is a relatively small subject for us. We don't have a lot of things that fall under the GDPR rule set, and the things that we have are from the KVK itself or from the KBO in Belgium or KVK in Netherlands, so KBO. So most of the things that we use that fall under GDPR that you can think about, age or age of the director, that kind of information, is typically not used, or at least used in a really subtle way that it doesn't shift the balance on if you get a rating 401. It shouldn't have that dramatic of an impact if we use it. But we've been compliant for the last, well, at least since I've been here and before that as well. We've been compliant on what we use, and we're very careful about what we use because people need to trust us, of course. So for GDPR, there's not much that we can do. We do see a little bit of information that is degraded over time, stuff that we cannot use anymore. So, for example, for the sole proprietorships, we cannot use the address anymore, which was in the past. That's not available. We saw in the law that that was coming, so that was something that we said, okay, if that is the law, then we're going to follow the law and not use it anymore. For the AI Act, I think we can say we're a big proponent of the AI Act. We also showed some input. Now, if we look at the AI per se in general terms, it doesn't necessarily impact us that much. As it is written right now, and as we are mainly a B2B service provider, we see that in the AI Act, it's more related to consumer credit scoring, not necessarily B2B scoring. So for us, the impact is relatively low. However, we foresee that that might change in the future. So the biggest things, and Rita talked about it before, is that we already include elements of the AI Act that are on the forefront of our minds. But it has always been the case. Explainability is the number one game, is that if somebody gets a score from us, we need to be able to explain to them why they got that score. Yeah. And I think the biggest part of the AI Act for us is that part, being able to explain why and have it make sense.
Yeah. So it's also more explainable. It's more advanced. I get it. It's we are complying with all the rules and regulations. So we have a new scorecard. But how does that all translate into a new scorecard? So how did you ensure that the scores also remain explainable despite the use of advanced AI? Because AI can do a lot of stuff, and you can tell the AI to explain it. But how do you make sure that it is explainable?
Yeah, that was for us really a road to discovery. So we looked at the market. Of course, we looked at all the research trying to open that black box and trying to explain it. There are a lot of things in the market, things like Shapley values. Some people might have heard of it. There are other methods of building something that explains that rich black box. However, every time that we've tried it and we went into it and we saw what it did, we were like, yeah, but this is not good enough. Our customers won't be happy if we say, okay, this factor or this variable or whatever influences the score in positive or negative way. They're going to ask us, okay, but how much?
Yeah.
But how much? give me a sense of direction on where we're going. So ultimately, we ended up with the conclusion, okay, everything that we have in the market is not good enough. So we need to build something ourselves, our own algorithm, if you will, that explains how the system works and why it reached a specific conclusion. So therefore, we built something ourselves. It was a long development, trial and error as you go along. And I think we can even make steps right now. But right now, we've come to the point where we see that when we check multiple cases on why they changed scores or why they have a certain score, we see that, okay, the network or the AI that we included makes the choices in a sensible way. We can explain now why you fall in a particular bracket, while beforehand, maybe using the stuff that was in the market, we were not capable of explaining everything. And now it is completely clear to us, okay, you're in that bracket because of this and this and this, which gives us that clarity of how the AI performs. Yeah. And it was a tough road, but it was a really, really good road to see.
And for how long are we using AI already? Maybe for...
Yeah, we've tried it in, I know in the 90s, we've tried it beforehand. And what we saw there is that the increase of the AI compared to what we have, it was an increase in performance that we had, but it wasn't as big that could offset that lack of explainability. Because AI has made tremendous leaps, especially in the research area of explainability and computing power just in general. It made a tremendous leap. So a couple of years back, we tried it again for specific customers to just see, can we boost this? And what we saw is that, okay, the boost is now so significant that we cannot not use it anymore.
Yeah.
We have to, we were up for the challenge that, okay, we have to use it. That comes with the responsibility of making it explainable. So back in the 90s, where we saw marginal improvements, but we couldn't explain it yet. And now we see, okay, we have drastic improvements and we can explain it. And that's the benefit that we can do it, of why we can do it now.
Great. So, Harita, is there anything else that changed? So, despite, with the scorecard, despite only the failure score?
Yeah, so one thing that's changed in our new scorecard, which is we have introduced new caps in our credit limit. So for rating 1, now it is capped to 7.8 million. For rating 2, it's 6.4. And for rating 3, it's 3.1 million. So capping our credit limit is one thing that we have changed in our new scorecard.
Well, the advantages of the new scoring system, like improved performance, greater explainability, those are clear on paper. The real question to me is, what does this mean in practice for the users, for our customers? So maybe let's take a closer look at how these innovations actually impact day-to-day credit decisions and risk management. So, Harita, I think most of the viewers at home are curious to know, what does this actually mean in concrete terms for a credit risk manager? So how does the new scorecard then impact their daily work and decision making?
Yeah, so yes, we have changed the system that helps us in predicting the score, but the interpretation of the 1 to 100 score and the DNB 1 to 4 rating is still the same. So as a credit manager, you would still interpret our DNB scores and rating the same way as you did before. However, you will see a shift in your portfolio with our new scorecard, because now we can more accurately categorize companies across different risk profiles. And now that we're seeing more companies in ratings 1 and 2, this means that our customers usually automate companies in the lower risk rating, which means you have no more time and resources to focus on borderline and high risk categories where the expert judgment is still required. We have built a custom report for all of our customers with detail of what analysis they have done. How does it impact their specific portfolio, which is available to them? So they can ask us, they can see, what does it do for me with the new scorecard? So in terms of that, the interpretation same. Now they can just do more business. So it's just not a new scorecard for them. It's a smarter toolkit that they have on their side, which helps them make decisions faster, smarter, and accurately assess risk, see where the real opportunity lies. So this is what a credit risk manager can expect from a new scorecard.
So with all these improvements, how many more customers will companies actually be able to accept thanks to the new scorecard?
So
Can you give a sense of the scale?
Yes, of course. So we see that in the entire universe, we see that approximately we have 25% more companies in rating 1 and 2. So what you can expect similar results to be in your portfolio. There would be slightly more, slightly less, depending on, that varies from portfolio to portfolio. But what we see is roughly there are 25% more companies, which means you can tend to accept 25% more companies with the new scorecard.
So 25% average increase in your rating 1 and 2? That's a lot, if you ask me. So is the scorecard then also really robust? How confident can we be, or the credit manager, in the consistency or the stability of its performance across all the different segments?
Yeah, so I think we're able to achieve robustness because we have designed it in a certain smart way, where we have smarter segmentation, and then we have layered AI on top of the risk element, and we have tested, especially in the Belgian market, for so many years, and we see that the AI still performs consistent over the period of time. We also have customers who have been using our AI model, and this is reflected in their model as well. So yes, our new AI model is truly robust in its performance in staying consistent over time.
Thank you. So if I'm hearing this right, are we talking about more revenue with less risk, right? So how quickly can our customers get started with this?
Yes.
I think a lot of people, viewers at home, are thinking about this or at work. When,
Yes.
when can we get started?
Yeah, we are excited to announce that the new scorecard goes live on June 6th of this year. So within just 3 weeks, you can expect the entire Belgium universe to be rescored with the new model. And during this time, you can expect slightly more monitoring messages than usual. But yeah, we go live on the 6th of June.
So some customers are already experimenting with the new scorecard, right? So what do they say right now? And the question is really, what will customers who already use the system, what will they say?
Yeah.
Will they discover anything unexpected?
The short answer is no. So I think, yes. So the interpretation, as I mentioned, is the same. That's all they're used to. You have been familiar with how we work in terms of scoring and rating. That remains the same. The only shift that they can see is now the distribution of companies that are falling under each rating is what would change. But other than that, there's nothing unexpected that our customers will face with the new scorecard.
Okay, thank you. The opportunities with AI, or in this case, AI-driven scoring, are, I think, endless. If I correct you, or if I understand you right.
Yes.
And while the launch of the new score is indeed a major milestone, it's also really just the beginning, I think. So we know that keeping it relevant means continuously evolving and improving. So looking ahead, Barry, what's your vision for the future of the scorecard? And how do you plan to keep the scorecard up to date over time?
That's a good question. I can honestly say we all already have a roadmap that can keep us busy for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I know. So. I know.
So we've created several ones right now, and this one is the general for the market. What we already see is that we can continue growing it. That's not the point. Right now we have something stable, something that works really well, but we also see the road ahead and how we can improve in the future. And luckily, one of the major benefits of how we created it right now is we have the flexibility. It's not necessarily that we're going to use it, but we have the flexibility that if we want to make changes, we can make it pretty rapidly. The AI gives you a little bit more flexibility also in the implementation side. So it gives us more chances to act upon things that happen in market. Now, what we see now, as Arita talked about, is it's relatively stable over periods of time. Even during Corona time, we saw the model performs as it should be. So we don't expect any changes. But if the need arises for some reason, we have the capability to do so. But in terms of how we're going to develop it in the future, we have years ahead of us on where we can see things, how we can improve it.
So, and can we expect to? Can you expand the scorecard to also include other predictions in the future, like delinquencies or other risk factors?
Yeah, so in terms of other prediction, yes, and we're doing that now already. We saw for a couple of other use cases where the same kind of structure can be used for others. So for one is the delinquency score that we just made in the Netherlands. But also for other use cases, we see it, okay, it has a viability there as well. It's not a single thing we can use it on. No.
Yeah. And can we expect also other data sources, or are you looking for other data sources to also integrate into the scorecard?
I think if we're looking at data sources, you hear a lot about web data and news data. We try to be as objective as possible. So objective data is our core on how we want to predict if somebody might go into bankruptcies, because that gives you the most stable decision making. It's not necessarily reviews or any of that kind of information. So one of the things that we try to leverage the most, and I think we can build upon even more, is of course our trade program. So the invoices that we collect.
Yeah.
I think if we can collect even more, it gives us even more robust and more performant scores in the future. So I think that is the main area that I would see an improvement if we collect more trade.
Yeah. So it's been a journey. So were there any surprises or surprising insights maybe, or unexpected findings during the development of this new scorecard? Or was there anything that stood out while working on it?
Yeah, I think
Oh, now I'm curious.
in terms of most unexpected but welcome expectation is that we still have a job.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
That's always nice to know.
We tried back a couple of years ago. We did try to just let the AI figure it out itself, as you hear in the market. Oh no, AI can figure it out. We tried. It can definitely figure it out, but not in the right way.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that was the first thing that, okay, it's nice to know that we still have a job and need to control that in a particular sense so that it actually makes conscious decisions that make sense to every business user. Next to that, the sheer performance that the AI can achieve, also when there's relatively fewer data points available, was amazing to us. It was really amazing. And that was one of the surprising effects that we saw.
Yeah. All right. So, as a credit risk manager, the key takeaway of today is simple. Embrace innovation, but keep decision-making grounded in transparency and reliability. And this isn't just another scorecard, I think. It's a revolution in how we assess risk, using AI to provide more accurate, timely, and explainable insights. And with the new scorecard, you will be able to achieve more revenue with less risk by confidently accepting more customers well, ensuring that every decision is well justified. It's about smarter risk management, not just automating the scores. And if you want to learn more or just get in touch, just visit our website or contact your account manager, because we are here to help. It's time to wrap up, but before we end, Barry, would you say this is the best scorecard we have built so far?
By far.
Is it the best scorecard in the market?
I think so, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That brings us to the end of this episode. As mentioned earlier, the recording will be shared with you shortly, so you can rewatch it whenever it suits you best. And if you are listening back while driving or on the go, and you found this webinar insightful, we would really appreciate if you would give us a rating. It helps others discover our podcast as well. And don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn, YouTube, to stay up to date with the latest insights and upcoming sessions. Thanks again for joining us. Thank you guys. And until next time. Bye-bye.